Hey guys, so today I'm going to show you guys how to make my version of chili's fajita platter, I believe it's called. I ate there once last year for the first time before, the whole pandemic thing. So I'm going to start off by cutting up a half of a medium onion, and we're going to start off doing the black beans. This is not supposed to be like authentic Mexican. This is just supposed to be like a copycat recipe from Chili's, okay? Alright, so I'm going to add some oil into my pot. Use like a deep pot so you can cook your beans. I'm using 3 cans of drained black beans. So the first thing I'm going to do is saute my onions, and I use pre-cut garlic. It's just easier to buy it in the container already cut. So about less than a tablespoon of that in there, and just let it, cook for a bit until your onions look a bit translucent. And then you're going to add in your drained black beans. See, once they start to shrink like this and they start to look wilted and a little translucent, you can put in your black beans. Alright, so I'm using 3 cans of black beans. I love black beans, so that's why I'm making so much. But if you don't care for that much black beans, you can use 1 or 2 cans, okay? I do have a family of 6, one who's 4 months old, so she doesn't eat yet, but, you know, the kids are older, so we all pretty much eat like adult-sized plates. I'm also going to add about 2.5 cups of chicken or chicken broth or chicken stock. I just put it in the can that the black beans were in. And then I'm going to add in 1/2 teaspoon of cumin and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Also added in some coarse ground black pepper, about a 1/4 teaspoon. Depending on what you like, you can always change the amount of the spice to your liking, okay? You're just going to leave that covered on low and let it do its thing. Now we're going to make the pico de gallo. I'm going to cut up a onion. This is a large onion. I'm going to chop it up real fine, put it in a bowl, and I'm going to cut up or dice up 3 large tomatoes. Put it all in a bowl that you can cover. I just used a plastic wrap to cover this bowl in the fridge. Okay. I do wash my tomatoes before chopping them up. Okay. So, yeah. Especially now, people touching them and, I wash my tomatoes. But yeah, a big handful of cilantro. If you don't like cilantro, you can use parsley. You know, um, some people think cilantro tastes like soap, so use parsley instead so you don't have that soapy taste. And I am putting in about 3 to 4 tablespoons of lime juice and adding in salt and pepper, about a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, less than a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and about a 1/4 teaspoon of coarse ground black pepper. I'm just going to mix that around and put that in the fridge and just get my onions chopped for the chicken. So I'm going to put that aside and also cut up my green bell peppers. I'm using 3 and 1 red bell pepper. You can do half and half. You can do 2 green bell peppers and 2 red bell peppers. It's totally up to you, but green bell peppers are a favorite in my house, so that's why I did 3, okay? You're going to clean them, take out the seeds and all of that good stuff. Take out, this connective tissue looking stuff here and slice them up like this. The knife I'm using is from a brand called Pioneer Woman. I've had these knives for a while. They do get dull, and I do sharpen my knives, so I can't tell you how they are without being sharpened for a while, but they do get dull. Okay, I sharpen my knives regularly. Alright, so as far as the chicken breasts, I'm using 4 of them, and I open them up like this. I guess fillet them open, I don't know. Open them up, cut off all the connective stuff, this fat that you don't like, whatever. Things that you don't like, just cut it off. Okay, And yeah, I'm using 4 chicken breasts to do this. I clean them as well with some cold water and a little bit of vinegar. And yeah, just kind of like slice them open like this. You want them to be about less than an inch in thickness, okay? Then we're gonna go ahead and season them. You can see me in the bowl. I'm gonna add in about 2 tablespoons to 3 tablespoons of olive oil, a teaspoon of coarse ground black pepper, 2 teaspoons of kosher salt, and we're gonna also add in garlic powder. Well, that was onion powder. About a teaspoon of onion powder. Actually 2 teaspoons of onion powder, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder. I use the measuring spoon to kind of give me a better idea of how I eyeball season, because I don't use a measuring spoon, so I only use it for you guys to give you a better idea of the amount of spices I use, okay? About a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of parsley flakes, a teaspoon of regular mustard, and about 4 tablespoons of honey mustard sauce. You want to get the honey mustard sauce, okay? That's what you want to get. All right, and some paprika powder. So now you're going to mix this. You can use your hands. You can use some tongs if you like. But I find it best to just use my hands to make sure the spices get all over everything evenly, okay? I'm going to mix this up. You could put it in the fridge, let it marinate for about 20 minutes if you want, but you know, that's totally up to you. Usually when I do this, I cook them right away. So since I have rice to cook, I'm just going to set it aside. My rice, I'm using regular white rice, okay? You can use parboiled rice if you do not know how to cook regular white rice. I'm adding in 2 packets of sazon, a half teaspoon of cumin. I'm also going to add in chicken base, about a teaspoon of that, and about a half teaspoon of coarse ground black pepper, or less than half a teaspoon. Okay. Also added in a half teaspoon of onion powder and a half teaspoon of garlic powder. This garlic powder has parsley flakes in it. That's how they gave it to me in my order pickup from Wally World, okay? Also added in about 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and here you're gonna add in either your chicken broth or chicken stock, or you can just use water. But if you use chicken broth or chicken stock, it's gonna make your rice taste so great. Okay, so I add in enough to cover the rice about 1 inch above the rice. And when you have your rice evenly, you know, mixed in, the water should be above your rice at least 1 inch, okay? Or a little tiny bit less than 1 inch. It really depends on how soft or firm you like your rice. The water, the liquids had reduced in my black beans, so I just added in about a cup of water. You're gonna let that cook until it reduces again, but not to the point where the beans are dry. You want the liquid to kind of be thick, so it looks kind of black. You know what I mean? Like thick like this. It's not really black. It's like super dark brown. That's all it is. All right, now back to the rice. Once you have your cover on, you're gonna let this come to a boil. And once it's boiling, give it a stir if you like. You don't want to keep stirring this. One stir is fine. Lower the heat, cover it, and leave it alone for about 20 minutes on very low heat, okay? Now I'm gonna cut up the onions for the chicken. I'm just gonna cut them up really big and chunky. You can cut them up to whatever size you like. I'm adding some olive oil into my pan, and I'm going to cook the chicken breasts 5 minutes on each side. I want it to get some good color on each side. All right, and this is how it should look, you guys. You don't want to cook this on super high heat thinking, you know, you want to hurry up and get the color. Try to keep your pan on medium high heat, because what's going to happen is it's just going to burn, and we don't want that because we're going to use the little, you know, caramelized bits that are left in the pan to finish off the chicken. So you don't want it to burn, because if it burns, it's going to make your chicken taste weird in the end, okay? So 5 minutes on each side until you get some color, like sear it basically. Okay, and it's gonna build up this crust in your pan. It should not be black. It should be like a dark brown color like this. Then you can add in your onions. I did 1 large onion. You can add in all your bell peppers. Give them a good stir in there. You don't have to add liquids right now to reduce it because the onions have a lot of liquid, well, water in them, and bell peppers too. So they're gonna release that as they get hot, and it's going to kind of deglaze your pan. Okay, so you're gonna season your bell peppers and your onions a bit with some salt and pepper. Give them a stir. You know you're ready to put the chicken in when the bottom of your pan starts to get clean looking, if you know what I mean. So, you know, the onions, the peppers, they're going to start to sweat, release their juices, and it's going to help deglaze the pan, and it's going to start cleaning it off like this. So all those crumbs in there, that's flavor, okay? That's flavor that's going to help your sauce. So there is a little sauce to this, okay? Now you're going to put your chicken on top of your bell peppers. Make sure to add in any drippings that came in, you know, dripped off of the chicken back into the pan. The bowl that I'm using is the same bowl that I used to season the chicken in. So if there's any seasonings or anything on the sides, use some chicken broth or chicken stock to kind of swirl it around, put it in your pan, cook it on medium-high heat for about 10 minutes, and then let it go for about 5 minutes uncovered. This is gonna, you know, cook everything and make it safe to eat. Okay, so instead of someone yelling cross contamination, everything is going to be cooked again. All right. All right, so this white sauce that's on here, this is actually honey mustard. About a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons of honey mustard mixed with about 2 tablespoons of chicken broth. And, you know, I just sprinkle it onto the chicken, and then some parsley, you know, a little razzle dazzle. And that is it. I promise you guys, I think you will love this. It tastes amazing. My kids love it. They clean their plates. They eat everything, of everything on their plates. My husband loves it. And yeah, um, you know, I did say this is kind of like a copycat recipe or whatever, but I'm going off of what I tasted when I was at Chili's. I've never had Chili's before, so my first time was last year. For the almost 20 years I've been in America, I've never had Chili's, and my husband brought me there while I was pregnant. So, you know, I tasted the chicken, I really liked it, and this is what I came up with from what I tasted. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give this video a thumbs up, comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe. I will try my best to get more videos out. When I do make plates, I like to eat with my eyes first, so presentation is very important. I added pre-made guac, which I like the spicy pre-made guac. And that is it, you guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you very soon in another video. Bye, guys.